Hey student, watch this video and learn how to use past continuous or simple past. Which one is better? Let's talk about this, let's review and learn something new. If you don't know me very well, hello, I'm teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, yes, because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. If you have already done so, it helps the channel. But here we go. Past continuous or simple past. Which one is better? Is there a difference? Of course there is. Now, I have many lessons here on my channel where I go into details of simple past, structure, really a lot of information, how to ask questions. Here I will give a quick review, but then I will be focusing on how native speakers use these guys together, okay? In conversations, how can you use them more efficiently? That's what I'm gonna do. Because here, guys, on my channel, I focus on pre-intermediate and intermediate students. I wanna help students at this level to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. That's my job. And if you want to get out of this level, if you want to speak with confidence, grammar is essential. And here, guys, at this level, and even when you're fluent at a really advanced level, you will go back to basic explanations, basic lessons. But you will always add a little bit more. Okay, a few more pieces of information. That's why you gotta keep going on this journey and always going back, reviewing and adding new information. And as I always tell my babies and students here, to learn a lesson, that's their hand, okay? Really, to help you memorize this, to learn a lesson, I must use it. I'm so proud of my BSA from my academy because this is something that I encourage and I insist because it is so important. Every day I go on the platform with my babies and I correct their examples. In this screenshot that you can see, the babies were practicing past continuous and simple past together. A little bit of what I'm going to share. So they create examples, they share their examples to me, and that makes it easier for them to learn the lesson because they're using the lesson they study, okay? Now, quick review. You probably learned that simple past will focus on completed, okay? Complete activities in the past. So these are all true for me, okay? This all happened to me last weekend. I tried a new Italian restaurant last weekend. This is complete. That's simple past, complete action in the past. There is no progress, there is no intention of showing continuation, progress, not at all, okay? My sister called me yesterday. Here I didn't put me, but my sister called yesterday. She picked her phone, called Priscilla, the best sister in the universe, and she called me. Complete. That's always the idea of simple past. Complete actions in the past, okay? I started watching Suits again. So I watched Suits, see, simple past. I watched Suits many years ago. I finished, but I decided to watch Suits again. Completed action. I made the decision to watch again. That's complete. Did I finish again? No. But the decision of watching again is complete. I decided to watch Suits again. I started. The action of starting is complete. But did I finish the show? Not yet. I watched one episode. I studied Italian last Friday. I finished. Did I finish all my practice in Italian? No, but I studied one lesson last Friday. So that's the idea of simple past. Now, when we move on to past continuous, you will focus on progress. Just like last week. Last week, I made a lesson about present, continuous, and simple present. This week, I'm focusing on past continuous and past to show you that the idea is the change is always in the progress. And I do this in the present. Right now, I am teaching an English lesson, but I can also go back to the past and focus on the progress in the past. Because when I say, I studied Italian last Friday, I'm not focusing on progress. I don't want to give these details that I was in the process, in the middle of the process of the action. No, I'm just showing you a complete action. Past continuous is different. I want to know the middle, the process, the continuation. So look at the question. The question changes. I'm going to show you this. What were you doing last night at 9 p.m.? This is also true to me, okay? Because as I always tell my babies, connect examples with your life. I was watching Suits last night at 9 p.m. That's what I was doing. So I'm focusing. I was in the middle of doing something at a certain time. Yeah, I just mixed the grammar here. I was in the middle of something, of doing something. I need to remove the article the, okay? There's a mistake in the article the. I was in the middle of doing something at a certain time. Let's say this. Do you love me? I'm saving the slide because I don't like to see mistakes in the spell. Just this one. Okay, fixed. So I was in the middle of doing something at a certain time. The action, look, the action had already started, but not finished. So when I say I was watching Suits at 9 p.m., you don't know if I finished. You don't know if I completed. But you know that around 9 p.m. last night, which is true actually, I was watching Suits. How about you? What were you doing yesterday? Last night at 9 p.m. I want to know. Were you sleeping? Were you having dinner? Were you talking to your friends? What were you doing at 9 p.m.? Go back in time. Try to remember 9 p.m. What were you doing? Now, structure difference. Simple past. We focus on regular and irregular verbs. I have lessons here on my channel. I will not get into details about this. If you need more simple past lessons, check my channel. There are more than 700 lessons here for you. Totally free. Affirmative phrases. The verbs change. I worked yesterday. Negative form. I use didn't plus verbs back to base form. I didn't work yesterday. Question, I will use did plus verb in base form again. Did I work yesterday? And in the simple past, we have exceptions. Modal verbs, verb to be. We always conjugate, not all modal verbs, okay? Some modal verbs, can, could. We already conjugate them in the past. So if I ask a simple past question with verb to be, I will use verb to be, was, were. I don't use did if be is the main verb. Were you hungry this morning? Were you hungry when you woke up? Okay? Could you, simple past, past of can. I already use could in the question. Could you speak English 2 years ago? Could you speak English 1 year ago? No, teacher, I couldn't speak English a year ago. Could you understand my videos 3 years ago? No, teacher, I couldn't understand your videos 3 years ago. So with some modal verbs, not all modal verbs, okay, forgot to put this here, but some modal verbs, you already use them in the past, in questions, could. Basically, that's what I'm talking about. And verb to be in the past. On the other hand, past continuous is verb to be in the past. Verb to be has two possible conjugations, was and were. And then you will use the verb, the action verb, plus ing. So yesterday at 9 p.m., I was watching Suits on TV. I was sleeping. They were sleeping. My sister was sleeping last night at 9 p.m. Negative form, I will use again verb to be in the negative form plus verb ing. I was not or I wasn't sleeping. I was not watching Suits at 9 p.m. last night. They were not sleeping. They weren't sleeping at 9 p.m. last night. They were watching TV. And question, I will invert the position between to be and the subject, the pronoun, the subject. Was I sleeping at 9 p.m. last night? No, I was not sleeping at 9 p.m. last night. I was watching Suits. Were you sleeping at 9 p.m. last night? No, teacher, I was not sleeping at 9 p.m. last night. I was cooking. I was eating dinner. I was talking to my friends. I was doing homework. I was watching your lessons. Anyway, guys, speaking of which, make sure to hit the like button. Yes, it really helps the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, I invite you to be part of this beautiful community. By the way, this week, if you're watching on March 13th, I'm getting started with the preparation for my workshop. So at night, I'm going live again with exclusive lessons that are temporary. The lessons that I'm going to be posting at night this week will be gone. So participate, okay? It'll be fun. And also, not as important as the focus of this lesson, I have an amazing study plan cycle that will help you organize your study routine. So if you need organization, if you don't know, teacher, how do I combine speaking and reading, writing, grammar? Do you have any ideas? I need to learn English. Check my study plan. Link in the description of this video. But now, using both past continuous and past tense together, okay? Students, you learned this when you were basic, okay? Past continuous, simple past, but many students confuse simple past and past. Not simple past, not a simple past as much, but past continuous. It's not so simple for them to use. I don't want to focus on progress. So how do I use it if I don't want to focus on progress? And this is where we need to include a little bit more information for you guys. And here, guys, we need to combine both tenses. That's what native speakers do. Native speakers combine past continuous and simple past. Do they use past continuous alone? Yes, depending on the conversation. Mostly when I ask you a question, hey, what were you doing last night at 9 p.m.? I am showing you what I want to know. I am asking a past continuous question. In that case, it is easy to conclude that I must use past continuous because I'm showing you what I want. What were you doing? But in conversations, this is not always the case. It's not always, oh, what were you doing at lunch yesterday? No, it's not always like that. That's why in conversations, native speakers bring both together, okay? So look at the screen now. Past continuous. Remember, past continuous focus on the middle of an action. It's not finished. It started and it's happening. It's in progress. That's past continuous. So here I have two phrases. I was watching TV. Kate was having dinner. So with these two phrases, I don't give you a context. I don't give you a clear situation, but you can understand that a certain time in the past, I don't know when, if it was last night, 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago, I don't know, but I know it's past. And I know that it was happening. It was in progress. I was watching TV. Kate was having dinner. So these two things were in progress in the past. Then I want to combine with simple past. Look at the other phrase. My sister called me. This is past. It's over. Okay? And her husband arrived. Kate's husband arrived. So what do native speakers do in conversations? They combine the two phrases. They link the two phrases to express a complete idea, to show a situation. And this happens all the time. Okay? This is not, oh no, in some cases. No, no, no. If you want to show interruption, I will explain. If you want to show interruption or two things happening at the same time in the past, there you go. Past continuous will be your best friend. So let's put the two phrases together. I was watching TV when my sister called me. Oh, okay. So maybe I'm in a conversation. You know, this is more realistic actually. I was here making my lessons, going live on YouTube when my sister called me. Duh, I couldn't answer the phone. Because when my sister called me, I was giving a lesson live on YouTube. And then they should have started hitting like button like crazy. I need to know. Girls gotta eat, right? So you help the channel and I help you. So you see, I connected. And the word when will be super important. It'll help you connect the two ideas. So I am talking about one activity that was happening, that was in progress. And then I show the next one. Finished, complete. My sister called me. And when she called me, I was working. I was working when my sister called me. Also possible. So I was here working on YouTube when my sister called me. That's what native speakers do all the time. Another one, Kate was having dinner when her husband arrived. So I'm using both. So when students ask me, oh, past continuous is not so important. Of course it is. And if you are a pre-intermediate or intermediate student, you gotta learn that all tenses are important. You just need to know how to use them. Some students come to me and say, oh, present perfect is not so important. Native speakers don't use present perfect. Of course they do. But do you want to go from stuck to speaking? Yeah, I imagine so. So you need to start thinking of what native speakers do, how they combine tenses, how they combine ideas. So here, something was happening in the past and another action interrupted the other one. There is some kind of interruption, but there is a little more I want to share, okay? So this is a good example. Let's bring reality. I think everybody knows this story. As you can see here on the screen, do you know this? Tell me in the comments when you're watching this. I don't know when you're watching this, but tell me in the comments. Do you remember this man? His name is Robert Kelly, and he was giving, look, past continuous. He was giving an interview to BBC live. All the world was watching him. He was giving, past continuous, he was giving an interview to BBC when his daughter showed up. When his daughter opened the door and entered the room. So you see the combination happening, okay? I can use other complements. I'm using when, but I can also use while, okay? It's also possible. Some students will ask, oh, but teacher, how about while? While is awesome. Use it, okay? But pay attention. Try to remember the conversation. Try to remember the video. So he was talking to someone from BBC when his daughter interrupted him. Well, she tried to interrupt him, and I think she did an amazing job. This video is hilarious. I can also say when his daughter showed up, she didn't necessarily interrupt him. He didn't stop. He continued. Okay, so when I say interruption, it's just that something started happening. Okay, you didn't necessarily stop the action, because if you see the video, that's why I decided to bring this example, because if you see the video, he continued the interview. Okay, so he was talking when his daughter arrived. So when I use when, I don't always mean interruption, okay? But I mean that at that moment something started happening or something happened. So at that moment something happened. Sometimes it is an interruption and I will need to stop what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm just indicating that I was talking, Robert Kelly was giving an interview, and then at that moment, at a certain moment, while he was giving an interview, his daughter appeared. His daughter, hello, daddy. His daughter showed up. So he was giving an interview to BBC when his daughter showed up, when his daughter interrupted him, when his daughter started playing in front of the camera. See? There are many possibilities, okay? Now, check the difference. When my sister arrived, I was watching Suits. So look at this. This is real. This is not so real because my sister didn't come to my apartment yesterday, but this would be a good example. When my sister arrived, I was watching Suits. So I had already started. Okay, I was there watching, and then she arrived. Now look at the example, the second one. When my sister arrived, I watched Suits. So if I use past, this means that only after my sister arrived, I started watching Suits. So there is a difference, okay? As I said, when I use when, it's not always an interruption. I'm just indicating that something happened. I was watching here, watching Suits, Harvey Specter, and then my sister arrived. But in the second example, when I'm using past, my sister arrived and then I watched Suits. Maybe she watched Suits with me. Who knows? But that's not really her style. I can also use while to connect sentences instead of using when. And here is another confusion students make. They think that if I use while, I need to use past continuous. Not really. You don't need to do that. If you want, you can. And when you say that, if you say, I was watching TV while my sister was cooking, my focus will be on progress in both situations. So just because you're using while does not mean you have to use past or continuous. No, you can mix both. The idea changes. One focuses on progress, one focuses on the activity being complete. So look, I cooked dinner, complete action, while my sister was working. So when I say I cooked dinner while my sister was working, I focus on the fact that I completed the action of cooking while my sister was working. I don't know if she completed the action of working, but I was just focusing on the progress of the activity. Now another one, it was raining while I slept. So I slept, complete, but it was raining, okay? So it's possible for me to share this combination of past continuous and past simple using when or using while. I hurt my knee. And I will go to the next part of this lesson, almost done. There are some verbs I don't use with past continuous. In this case, for example, it doesn't make sense to use I was hurting my knees. You hurt. Something happens and then bing, oh, my knee. Okay? It doesn't make sense to indicate continuation, progress with this verb. But I can focus on the activity that I was doing. So how did you hurt your knee? Oh, I hurt my knee while I was going upstairs. So hurting your knee is the complete action in the past. That's what happened while you were going upstairs. So this example makes it easier for you to understand, okay? Now, guys, some verbs are not used in the continuous tense. There are more verbs. These are some examples. Last week, when I was talking about present continuous, I also mentioned this. Some verbs are not typically used in the continuous tense. You may see it, but it's not so frequent. So know, want, like, suppose, consist, belong, need are not typically used in the continuous tense. I was enjoying the day with my friend, but I needed to go home. This happened to me on Saturday. I was enjoying my afternoon with a friend, but then I checked the time and I realized I had to go home, that I needed to go home. I couldn't say I was needing to go home. It doesn't make much sense. You may see need in the past continuous, but it's not so common. Now, guys, I have a question for you. What were you doing before this lesson? As I always tell students, to learn a lesson, I must use it. Tonight I'll be going live. It is the beginning, the very beginning of the warm-up week. That's introducing my workshop. Make sure to participate. Other than that, get my study plan cycle, share this lesson with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.